Hi, everybody. If you see I have a really big smile on my face, it's because the boss has joined me tonight. She's feeling better. She's up here hanging out with me. She's slightly grumpy at the moment, so I'm not going to spin the camera around. We even had a marathon water drinking session. There was a little bit of yelling and barking, but she's here with me, so all is good in the world. Now that the boss is in her very special place monitoring me, you've got questions, I've got answers. It's time for a little Q&A. Now, this question is quite near and dear to my heart because I am a solo traveler. So one of the questions I get frequently is, should I travel solo? Before I answer the question itself, if this is your first time here, welcome. I'm Gretchen, the Tipsy Travel Gal. I'm a licensed esthetician and a travel agent, and it is my goal to eat, drink, and spa my way around the world. Of course, I would love to bring you with me, showing you some really cool things to do, some amazing places to see, and of course, some delicious food to eat and drink. My overall goal is to inspire you to travel, whether that be international or domestic. If that sounds like something interesting to you, I would certainly hope you would subscribe to this channel because there's a lot more content to come, even if I haven't posted anything in a while. Sorry. Also, if you have time, I'm including the link to my GoFundMe page in the description of this video. I would truly appreciate it if you would go take a peek. And if you've got a couple extra dollars to maybe make a small donation, because it was a rough Christmas season with flu and COVID and RSV, and I'm tapped out. But it's time to get the question, should I travel solo? The answer to that question, of course, is an absolutely, positively yes. Now, saying that, you're probably going to need to build up to doing some solo traveling on your own. So let me give you a little bit of guidelines on how to prepare yourself for what traveling solo is like. Let's start with the things that you absolutely must be able to do while you're traveling alone. You need to be comfortable dining and going out by yourself. Now, how do you prepare for this? Challenge yourself to eat dinner out by yourself at least one day a week alone. If you can do it at home, you can do it abroad. You also might want to try doing like a group activity with people that you don't know. And while I meet a lot of people when I go on excursions by myself, you have to be okay with enjoying the experience without anybody talking to you. Sometimes you go into these huge group settings and people are either paired off or they're just not interested in meeting new people. And that's okay. That's their prerogative. But that means that you have to be comfortable going and experiencing things without someone maybe to talk to. Now, most of the time, excursion leaders will be happy to take pictures of you, or there'll be somebody that you can talk to on occasion, but just know that these things can happen. Another thing is you need to set guidelines for yourself and be disciplined about it. For example, when I am out and I go to dinner, I allow myself a couple of drinks. I am by no means a lightweight, but it's also not a smart idea to be a place that I don't know and drink heavily. I still have to get back to my hotel. I also make sure that I get back to my hotel at a reasonable hour. Notice I didn't say my room. Being in the hotel bar is perfectly acceptable. One of the last pieces of criteria that I have before you start going out on your own is you need to be very comfortable and confident, but also be very guarded about your surroundings. If you're the type of person that gets nervous or doesn't like large crowds or gets easily flummoxed, that can kind of put you in a dangerous scenario. Again, you need to be comfortable being by yourself. You need to be confident being in areas that you don't know and being able to protect your own safety. And you need to set guidelines and be disciplined in following them. Now, I always say if you can do these things around your hometown, then I would probably take a trip by yourself in your home country first. So, like, for example, I live in the Chicago area. I've spent time in New York. I spent time in Los Angeles. I spent time in San Francisco. I spent time in Washington, D.C. by myself. And then I started venturing into international trips. So let's talk about some of the benefits of traveling solo. First of all, you get to pick where you want to go. Go into a big city, you can decide what area you want to stay in. You get to pick your hotel. You get to pick your restaurants. Do you feel like trying something exotic or a local delicacy for that night? You don't have anybody going, ugh, I don't want to eat there. Now, I'm very fortunate when I travel with my friends. They are usually as adventurous as I am and are willing to try different things or at least find something that they are happy eating at any location that I pick. Here's something else. If you're in the middle of doing something, let's say you've wanted to go shopping at this particular store your entire life. And you go to the store and you're looking around and you've got people who are standing there tapping their toes and looking at their watch, wanting you to leave. If you go by yourself, you don't have to worry about that at all. And last but not least, you get to have your own room. Now again, I travel with friends quite often and we share a room and it's lovely. I have no complaints. That being said, as someone who helps to take care of elderly parents, including someone with dementia, I really don't have any private time or personal space. And of course, the boss, she shares a bed with me. So I usually don't get to stretch out in a nice big comfy bed. These are all amazing things that happen when I travel solo. So we've talked about the skills that you need for travel. We've talked about the benefits of solo travel. Let's talk about the type of travel to get you started on your solo journey. Now, if you want to start slow, I always say all-inclusive resorts are one of the best places to go. You don't have to venture out very often. You're going to be in a resort. You'll be meeting plenty of people. You have a lot of things to do right there in the resort. And for the most part, you're in a fairly controlled and safe environment. You can practice eating by yourself. You can practice being in a room by yourself. You can even venture out from the resorts, trying different excursions and going out with people, but you always have the protection of a resort that's usually pretty controlled and relatively safe to go to. If you live in the United States, there are many all-inclusive resorts right in the Caribbean, like Mexico and Punta Cana. They are close. You can also go for weekends, so if you don't like solo travel, you're not wasting an entire week of vacation. But if that's not your thing and you want to try something else and you're ready to just go out into the world, a guided group tour is an excellent option. The guided group tours have an itinerary. They have planned excursions. You will have free time to explore by yourself, but you're going to get to see a lot of things and be with a consistent group of people the entire time. Even though you're solo, you're not alone, which is a wonderful stepping stone and a really good option if you're going someplace where you don't speak the language at all. Now, the downside of a guided group tour is that it is going to cost you more because you're going to have to pay a solo supplement. But if you talk to a travel agent like me, I keep track of who has very inexpensive solo supplements and some have none at all. So travel agents can definitely help you out in that area. The other thing is, when you join a guided tour, you're with that group for your entire vacation. And yeah, you do run the risk of being with a group of people that maybe don't feel like socializing. But you're still in a very controlled environment with this group, so it's definitely a great option. Now, if you're like, no, I'm not doing all-inclusives because I don't want to go to Mexico or the Caribbean, and no, I hate guided group tours, that doesn't interest me, I want to do an independent trip and I want to go someplace. Here are my suggestions. Definitely enlist a travel agent to help you out. Most travel agents have traveled extensively. They know the safer area of cities to go to, or if they don't know that area personally, they know people that do, and they will steer you in the right direction. I would still recommend going on excursions in a group. So if you're planning on doing something big, like going to the Eiffel Tower, or going to the pyramids, or going to the Sydney Opera House, do it with a group of people. Now, these excursions, while in a group, if you're not clicking with the group, it's only for a couple hours or maybe a day. You're going to be with people who know the area, will be able to share a lot of information about the location that you're going to, and will also have an idea on how to keep yourself safe while you're in these locations. Lastly, one of my favorite things to do when I am traveling solo on a non-guided tour is I look for the hop-on, hop-off buses. Now, most people groan at them, but they hit all the big tourist spots. They are giving you transportation. You're not hailing a cab and getting into a vehicle with somebody that you don't know, or is maybe going to take advantage of the fact that you are alone and traveling in a foreign country. You can ride it for the entire day, and if you get a multi-day pass, you can use it as your main mode of transportation to get you around the entire city. I also suggest that with people who are in groups of people, but definitely, it's always a great option. I'm not wandering around by myself trying to figure out how to go from place to place. This lovely bus will take me. You can put your headphones in. It's narrating where you're going. You're listening to lovely music. And you can get off at any stop that you want to, investigate the area, and then just go back and catch another bus and off to the next location you go. So I hope that answers your question on should you travel solo. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any tips or any other questions about traveling solo, feel free to comment below, or you can go to any of my social media accounts. I am Tipsy Travel Gal on all of the main platforms, and you can message me there, or you can go to my website, tipsytravelgal.com. I have a link at the top of the menu that says Contact Me. That takes you to a contact page where you can send me an email. Thanks again for watching, and until the next time, bye.